Hello, fellow dreamers, and welcome to my space. My name is Nikita Antoine, and today we'll be doing a Yule reading, or maybe better known as like a winter solstice reading. So there was a very interesting thing that was happening right before I started this reading, and it was like suddenly all of the things, just like little small things that I had misplaced or lost, set around my house and have been looking for days, suddenly started to appear. And I realized that that has something to do with this Yule reading. And what I've noticed, of course, after I've pulled the cards and everything, is that there seems to be a return of lost love that is happening during this winter solstice, during the beginning stages of Yule. So Yule is essentially, it's the shortest day of the year, yet it is also the furthest point from where we are in location to the sun. So not only are we so far away from the sun, but we're also experiencing the shortest moment. So there's this interesting like dynamic that is happening in that concept, and that we're the furthest away from the things that provide us joy and love and all of that, all of these gorgeous emotions, yet that space where they are furthest away from us, it seems to be happening in a very short span of time. So that's what this is referring to. It's like that there is going to be a return of this lost love, but if we can kind of see it as that it's actually the shortest amount of time that they are away from us, then that actually might help to bring about the celebration of Yule, perhaps maybe even quicker than you think it will be. So I have done this spread today with my triple stack deck. It's the Ethereal Visions Tarot, the Dreamscape Oracle, as well as the Luna Tarot, all blended into one, all of them by Hughes. And at the bottom of the deck for this winter solstice, we have the Two of Cups. And it's just so beautiful to me how, oh, and look, and then there's the light. That's, okay, hang on. we're going, we're just still going. All right, so we have the Two of Cups, the light, and the Hangman. And what this is referring to is that no matter how far we are away from our light source, like the sun, for instance, we are intrinsically tied to it. The Hangman is coming through with a sense of being bound. So we are bound to the light, and there's nothing that can actually break that bond. It's coming through as, with this Two of Cups as the underlying energy, is that it's a perfect pairing. Like, we are a perfect pairing. That's so fascinating. to this solar energy, to this solar phase. And, of course, like with the Two of Cups, it's talking about like this cyclical approach that we have. And so it seems as though our relationships actually follow this cyclical approach as well. So we can learn from the solar phases how to apply. It's coming through about like how to apply what is happening during our solar phases to seek the truth or the emotional resonance in our relationships. So it's like, it's referring to that, the return of the lost love. It's like, if we can see that although they are the furthest away from us, and it's actually the shortest amount of time, it's like we can use that information to, in a sense, project forward like not project forward, but like predict the turn. It's like if there's a turning event. We can predict that there will be a turn of events. And it's fascinating because it's like the lion actually represents the sun. And so it's like the sun is turning around, and in that turn, once the sun actually shifts into its journey, coming closer to our, not coming closer to us, we're coming closer to it. It's like we'll start to see this change in our relationships, and that our relationships are actually getting closer to us. So that's fascinating. Let's look at the bridging energy to see where this is all going to take us. And it's taking us to the octopus, which is a kind of strange, was that the, and then the Luna moth is under it. So there's a little bit of a supernatural, there's definitely a little supernatural flair that's happening here. I want to call this actually like the orchestration, almost, it's coming through as like a cosmic orchestration, because this octopus I see as something that is, it's very alien. It's foreign and different. And with this Luna moth here, that comes through as like a psychic awareness that is being, it's like an awakening of psychic awareness. So there is a different approach that is opening up a new psychic awareness of how to understand the attachments, because the octopus also talks about attachments. The attachments that we have with our loved ones. It's coming through as our loved ones, and that sometimes we can actually see them as something that is very foreign to us, but there seems to be some psychic awareness here that is coming in with this turn of the winter solstice that is going to, I want to say, make them very familiar. They're going to become more familiar to us, or they're in a phase where they are slowly coming back into, that's what it is. It's coming back into familiarity. So let's get the overall energy for this Yule reading. And for the overall energy, we have the 9 of Wands that's showing up here. So there's an interesting dynamic that's happening where we as a collective are feeling separated from our loved ones, or the ones that we would, the ones that we would be celebrating with during the winter solstice. It's like there is a feeling of separation or alienation that is occurring here. And with the 9 of Wands as our overall energy, it's as if we are the ones that are actively putting up those boundaries that is preventing this underlying energy of the 2 of Cups from coming in to our lives. And so it's like this winter solstice is acting as an energy that is going to break down our defenses and put us in a space where we are able to receive the familiarity between all of us. It's like we're suddenly going to start to see that it's kind of like that we're not so very different, even if, we perceive each other as foreign, or foreign's not really the right word. It's like separate from us. It's like right now during this Yule time, during the winter solstice, it's like that's going to bring about like this togetherness. And the winter solstice is wanting to remind us with the first card in the reading that just love. When this card came out, the Lover's card came out, it was simply referring to love, simply love. And that's where we are being guided. It's like the thing that wants to come into our space and into our awareness is the beauty of love, the tenderness, the compassion, the mutual respect, the love, the care, everything. It's like understanding that this is all reciprocal. And of course, if we have a bunch of boundaries and trying to set ourselves apart or alienate ourselves, it's like that is what's going to bring about the that's because it's reciprocal. That's the thing. It's like love is a reciprocal energy. So if you are not putting in energy that is of love, it's going to reciprocate that back to you, or at least your relationships are going to reciprocate that energy back to you. So it's very interesting. It's wanting to remind us to reside in this gorgeous state of love, just simply put, of the vibration of love. And then that will ultimately bring about this turn. It's not even necessarily that, I don't know, it's almost like which comes first? Do we hold this vibration of love and then, you know, there's going to be a turn? Or is it that this turn of the sun, or of us around the sun, brings about this new feeling of love? It feels as though it's a orchestration. And of course it would be an orchestration if we're moving around the sun, you know, and we come across this furthest point. It's like you have to go, that there's a very interesting dynamic that's happening, that's playing out here, and that you have to be almost in a sense the furthest away from your loved ones in order to realize that you need to make the trek back, something like that, back into their like good graces, their heart, all of that. And with the fawn that is showing up next to this, the fawn was bringing up an energy of tenderness, of just a very sweet and tender love. Nothing too abrasive, or like, for instance, this love is not screaming from the rooftops. It's a very quiet and subtle energy. It has an incredible like amount of intimacy to it that is completely and solely felt between perhaps you and your loved ones. It's coming through as like when families are gathered together during the Christmas, the holidays, all that stuff, during this winter solstice. It's an incredibly intimate scene. And it feels quiet. It feels like, maybe you might have experienced this, but when it snows and you go out during the snow, there is a silence. There's almost like when all of the electricity in the house shuts down, that sense of silence. It's like, that's what this is. It's as if there is a moment of silence for love itself. And with the fawn here, there seems to be an energy that is in observance of this moment. It's not something that is almost like it's a spirit. Like it could be even like the spirit of the winter solstice, or the spirit of Christmas, or the spirit of the holidays. Like the spirit is observing and in some ways influencing the love that we have for one another. And there's a sense here, there's a sense that it is actually causing this spirit to want to stop and witness and gaze upon the beauty of this love that is being shared. Because I'm seeing this deer as being like caught in headlights, a deer caught in the headlights. And the headlights are this love. It's like the love that you are feeling during this winter solstice is acting as like a beacon or a light that is emanating from your heart space, from this connection. It's like it's like a star energy. It's like there's a star or something that is just blasting this light. But we are this. And so this deer and this fawn is like caught in the viewing of the headlights in a sense. And then there's also kind of like this separate message that is happening here. It's being characterized as this Ten of Swords. And what I'm sensing here is that when this happens, when this moment here happens where this deer is caught in the headlights, there's a feeling here that everything else is over. I know it's the Ten of Swords, but it's not coming through with this sense of betrayal or anything like that. What it's talking about is that everything else is obsolete and just totally not important, because right now what is important is this love. It's like when you're with someone and you're in a crowded room and there's, you know, so much going on, the bustling and everybody's speaking and all this stuff. And then you look into your lover's eyes and you have a feeling of that you two are actually the only ones in the room. You two are, it's that pure intimacy that you're sharing with your loved one. It's like the feeling of, I don't even know how to describe that. I hope that you're understanding that, as I feel like I'm doing a really terrible job at portraying it. But it's that emotion of feeling like you two are the only ones that are in this room. And then it's like when that happens, when that moment happens and you both are like looking into each other's eyes and feeling this love, it's like there is a beauty that is shining out from you. It's like the luminescence of a star is shining out. And that is what the spirit of Christmas, or this fawn, the spirit of the winter solstice, is witnessing. It's like and you know, this fawn could even be perhaps other people that are in the room with you too. And it's actually stopping them in their tracks, and they're just admiring the beauty that is occurring here. And with the moon that's showing up as well at the end of the reading, that's what this is referring to. It's like people gazing at the beauty of love. At the beauty of love is really what it is. It's almost as if you're being, the intimacy of your relationship is being viewed by others, and it's as if it's like a trigger in a sense, where they see your love and then it also makes them shine too. So it's like everything is shining and illuminating during this winter solstice. It's really beautiful. It's stunning. But with this moon here that's coming up, it's referring to that even in our like darkest of times, or when we feel alone, or when we feel alienated or anything like that, when we feel the furthest away from our source point, there is always going to be a return. That's what this is referring to. It's like there will always be a return of love. Like love is never lost. It's always going to return. So if you would like to view the rest of this reading, I will be pulling some more cards for an extended, and hopefully I will see you over there. The link for the extended is in the top of the description box, and I'll see you there. Bye.